Spilled my water on my way in here, but I think it's fine. Welcome, everybody. We will go ahead and start our pre-meeting tonight, and we'll just run through the agenda here. So we will start, we'll have a prayer led by Councilwoman Ward, and then we have 3 miscellaneous items for the pandemic update. I believe Dr. Robbins is going to join us, hopefully online. And we'll have a Patriot Day update. Thank you for being here. Steve Cyrilak is here. And we will also do our Mayor's Choice Award winners this evening. You can see our beautiful artwork that we have up here tonight, so we'll get to recognize that. Looking under announcements, is there anything to mention over here? Okay, sounds good. And I'll mention a little bit about the budget too with my budget letter, and then also perfect. Yes, I'll call on you for that. Oops. All right.
I'll teach you.
Yes. About the website. Perfect. All right. Thank you. And then consent agenda. Any questions? And then bills introduced. We'll start with number 33, Mr. Marash.
Basically 33 related 33 is recognizing the insurance proceeds for hail damage at the wastewater plant. 34 would be the contract for repair those proceeds. So maintenance building at our wastewater plant.
Any questions? All right. And number 34, Mr. Marash.
I just explained season brook maintenance building.
Any questions? Number 35, Mr. J.J. Gates.
Yes, filling in for Todd this evening. We're reclassifying 2 park maintenance positions into 1 assistant director position. That position will be responsible for non-sports type activities. So.
Any questions? And number 29, Mr. Marash.
The streets.
Okay, any questions? All right, and then we will do number 30, Mr. Mullman.
Thank you. This bill changes the rules for boards, commissions, and committees and electronic participation through video conference. There is a substitute. Councilman, do you want to kind of run through some of the changes on that, or would you like me to kind of give an overview in the meeting? I just, okay.
All right, any questions on that one over here? Okay, and number 31, Ms. Miller.
Oops, sorry. This is a supplemental for the workers' compensation. It's a statutorily required escrow of $200,000 and the $2,000 for the fees that go along with it.
Any questions? All right, and number 32, Mr. Barron, are you filling in for Mr. Sanders?
It takes two people to replace Sunny.
Oh,
So.
Rachel, are you?
No. So yeah, I'll take Bill 32.
Okay. Awesome.
And,
It definitely takes 2 to fill in for Sunny.
So this is a small subdivision plat, a 1-lot subdivision, kind of a standard subdivision plat on the end of Shot Hill Road.
Any questions? Okay, and resolution number 8, Chief, are you going to fill in?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
This is just a inter agreement with Cole County to receive a JAG grant from the federal government. We've been receiving it for over 10 years. It's just authorizing the split of the money with the county.
Any questions? And number 9, resolution 9. Is that you, Rachel?
Well, I'm going to have Ann Strotman do the presentation, but we'd both be happy to answer any questions if necessary.
Okay. Any questions? All right. That just about sums up the agenda. Are there any questions before we adjourn? And we have a few more minutes until the regular meeting. Okay. Well, with that, I'll call this meeting adjourned, and it is 5:52. So we have just a few minutes, and we'll start at 6. Thank you. Actually, while you're waiting too, I will note that if anyone has any extra cash, and I'll talk about this at the upcoming meeting, but get your cash ready for a couple of things. We're going to be, I think we may have some hats for sale tonight for $20 for Patriot Day. So we're going to talk about that. And then we have some buckets over there with department heads, pictures on them. It's a United Way fundraiser. I'll touch on that during announcements. But if you want to go ahead and get your money out and get it ready to put in your favorite bucket, and whoever has the most, I'll go over that at the meeting, but you'll put it in your favorite bucket over there. So get your cash ready.
And state of reality. Oh, late about there.
Hi, Dr. Adams. I notice you're on the WebEx there. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but would you like me to call on you during the pandemic update? Did you want to give us an update?
I think Tom Robbins has the vast majority, and I'm just going to be available in case there's a specific question about the hospitals. Otherwise, I will just be in the background.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Adams. Appreciate it. Looks like we have about 2 more minutes till 6, so just about time. Thank you. And just in case if Dr. Robbins hasn't joined us by then, we may go on and do item, B and C until he comes on. So just to give you a heads up, Steve, just in case. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you. All right, welcome everyone. Before we start our meeting, we will have a prayer led by Councilwoman Ward, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear God, thank you for each mind and heart that fills this room and for the opportunity to serve the people of our city. We pray for guidance to help us to act with character and conviction, to listen with understanding and goodwill, and to speak with grace and knowledge. Help us to engage in meaningful discussions and grow as we listen and make decisions for everyone in our community. As hospitalization numbers increase due to COVID in our community, please keep those who are affected in our thoughts and prayers. And as always, keep all those safe who keep us safe every day as we work, play, and sleep. In your name we pray.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. I will now call to order the Monday, July 19th, 2021 City Council meeting. You can also join this virtually. The link is on our agenda that you can find at jeffersoncitymo.gov, and you can also call in to participate this evening. Mrs. Donaldson, roll call, please.
Fitzwater,
Present.
Hensley,
Present.
Kimna,
Here.
Lester,
Here.
Schreiber, Spencer,
Here.
Spicer,
Present.
Vogt,
Here.
Ward, here, Wiseman.
Present.
Item 3, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 4, miscellaneous agenda items. And the first item is a pandemic update. And we have with us this evening Dr. Robbins and Dr. Adams. We appreciate them being with us tonight virtually. And I would like to turn it over to Dr. Robbins from JCMG. He will start by giving us an update tonight. Welcome, Dr. Robbins. Dr. Robbins, can you hear us? It looks like it's speaking.
Yes.
It says, there you are. Okay, I can hear you now.
I think I've got it. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right. Are you ready for me?
Yes, you're welcome. You have the floor now. So if you would like to give us an update, that would be perfect. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. We'll do that. Give me 1 second. I had a hard time getting on. I just have to get my notes together here. I apologize.
No problem. We're glad you could join us.
Sure. So I just wanted to make a couple of talking points this evening, and I don't know if the mayor introduced me, but my name is Dr. Tom Robbins. I am the medical director for JP, and I have been involved in the pandemic meetings that we've been having for over a year. So we have, as you know, medical directors of the hospitals and other individuals that present at these meetings, and we are able to give the community some guidance based on this. And so the couple of things that I wanted to start with. We've seen a significant increase in the number of COVID-19 cases around the country. And of course, this includes Jefferson City, Cole County, Mid-Missouri, and the state in general. And I'm sure most of you are well aware that Springfield has kind of led the news nationally with the outbreak that they have had. Over 50% of the cases are of the new Delta variant of COVID-19. And this variant is more transmissible than the original COVID-19 virus that we've been dealing with, but it's not necessarily more dangerous, but definitely easier to contract. Both hospitals in Jefferson City are currently sitting at somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 patients, 20 inpatients with COVID-19, several of those who are currently on ventilators. We had gone quite a while without seeing any COVID in patients, and now there's been a gradual uptick over the last few weeks, and I'd say especially over the last 2 or 3 weeks. The biggest problem we face right now is the continued resistance that is more in young people than people over the age of 50 who seem to be very resistant to getting vaccinated. They're basing a lot of their fears, from what we can tell, on information they'll get from social media very often that is just blatantly false. And I think that one of the pushes we want to make is to really get the facts out. We're not looking to blame anybody for information they've gotten and how they've interpreted it. We just really want them to know what the scientific facts are. And the most recent statistics show that over 97% and possibly even 99% of people that have become severely ill with this new strain, and even with the old COVID-19, for that matter, have been unvaccinated. Of those that have died, the recent statistics suggest that up to 99% of those have been unvaccinated individuals. So you can see the incredibly effective nature of these vaccines that we have at our disposal. There certainly are case reports of adverse reactions. Some of you that have been vaccinated may have had some of these reactions. Excuse me. You know, a lot of people will end up with a sore arm. In fact, probably more people have a simple reaction like that than the more significant ones, such as fever, muscle aches, joint aches, extreme fatigue, and so on. The vast majority of symptoms don't usually last more than about 72 hours, but sometimes up to 5 days, rarely longer than that. There have been more serious reactions reported, but this comprises less than 1% of vaccinated individuals. At this point in time, it may be advisable for everyone to consider masking when in crowded places such as supermarkets, retail stores, and so on. And I think everyone wants to keep in mind that there are still a lot of unvaccinated people out there in the community. Although you are very well protected, certainly over 90% with both Pfizer and Moderna vaccines, there is still that small possibility that you could contract the infection, although fortunately you are much less likely to develop a serious infection from it. I would urge everybody to consider what we've talked about in the past with social distancing of at least 6 feet when at all possible. And again, wearing a mask in a crowded place, to just consider this as a way of protecting yourself. And that's pretty much, those are pretty much the points I wanted to make this evening. I think Dr. Lenora Adams has also phoned in, and I would go ahead and defer any other information to her at this point.
Thank you, Dr. Robbins, and appreciate that update. I also have an update here from the Cole County Health Department, so I will read that update and then I will turn it over to Dr. Adams. This is from Director Christy Campbell, the Cole County Health Department. Currently, 46% of all Missourians have initiated vaccinations. Cole County's current vaccination rate is 42.5%. Unfortunately, positive COVID cases and hospitalizations have been increasing over the last few weeks. 183 positive cases have been reported to the Cole County Health Department for the past 7 days. Please note that one of the healthcare organizations had an IT issue in June, and cases have not been reported for a few weeks. And I received an updated number. I think it says 183, and it might have been 228, but that was due to the IT issue. Our reported cases over the last several days have been higher because of this backlog of data. The charts on the colehealth.org website that show the number of people who test positive on each day are the most accurate reflection of case data. Typically, about 20% of the cases reported each day are breakthrough infections. So that means 80% are unvaccinated. Since March, there have been 159 breakthrough infections reported. Because of the increased inquiries about the number of breakthrough infections, that data has been added to the health department's chart that shows the number of people who tested positive each day. The orange portion of the bar on the chart is the breakthrough infections. The healthcare organizations are once again changing the vaccine strategy in Cole County to meet the needs of public health demand. With the loss of state support and decrease in demand at the community vaccination site at the Capitol Mall, it was decided that the site should close to divert those resources elsewhere. All the healthcare organizations are offering vaccines in the doctors' and clinics' offices daily. Vaccines are offered and available at the Cole County Health Department on Thursdays and at most retail pharmacies daily. There's ample vaccine supply in our county for those who would like to receive a vaccine. There has also been an increase in testing demand lately. Anyone seeking a test should reach out to their primary care physician's office first for an appointment. If they do not have a primary care physician they can establish as a patient, they can call the Community Health Center of Central Missouri or visit one of the retail pharmacies that offer testing. In addition to the vaccination, prevention measures are still suggested. Stay home if you are sick, avoid others that are sick, wash your hands often, especially before eating, physical distance from others outside of your household. That is our update from Cole County Health Department, and I would like to close with Dr. Adams. If you have anything to add, please.
I don't really have any substantially different information to add from what Dr. Robbins already brought forth, but if there are any questions, I'd be happy to field any questions that relate to the hospital care. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Adams. Are there any council questions or comments at this time? We appreciate that. We've had an update at every city council meeting for many, many months now, but we wanted to provide accurate and up-to-date information and certainly encourage people to take precautions and remind people of how easily accessible the vaccine is. So if they haven't already received one, there's great opportunities to do so So we have lots of information out here, and we will be sure to continue to share that. And we appreciate having our trusted local physicians to join us this evening. So thank you, Dr. Robbins, and thank you, Dr. Adams.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. All right, next on the agenda, we have item B, which is Patriot Day update, events commemorating the 20th anniversary of September 11th. I'd like to invite Mr. Steve Searlock to the podium, and you should also have information, a handout with more information. Welcome, Mr. Searlock.
Thank you for having me tonight. The Patriots Day Committee was formed about a year ago. I'd like to open up and say we're celebrating, not celebrating, but commemorating the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Can anybody remember what was going on in their life when the planes hit the towers 20 years ago? What were you doing? I know in my office, all of a sudden everybody disappeared. Nobody was around. They found them all around the TV watching what was going on. So what we're going to do in Jeff City, this committee was formed, over 40 of us, over a year ago, to commemorate 9/11 in Jeff City area. So what we're going to do is on Friday evening, there'll be an opening ceremony on the South Capitol lawn, and it will commemorate all those who have fallen. We'll have high school students and first responders reading all the names of the 2,977 victims that fell that day. And the Capitol Dome will be lit up in red and blue. And hopefully we'll have lights in the background on the north side of the Capitol to signify the two towers on that. So it'll be a commemoration. Like I said, we'll have bagpipes and taps and bell ceremony to do that. The next day, the next morning, Saturday morning, there'll be a 5K run, a Stephen Stiller's 5K run. Stephen Stiller's was off-duty firefighter, New York City firefighter when the towers were hit. He ran to the station, picked up his gear and ran to the towers and lost his life in the towers. So it's a 5K run Saturday morning, starts at 8:30 on the South Capitol lawn, and follows a route down High Street to Riverside Park and back to the Capitol again. This has been going on for years in Jeff City, but we're trying to centralize everything. On noon on Saturday, there'll be a parade in the downtown area to commemorate the terrorist attack. Be made up of all first responders and the military. So you'll have military units, you'll have police, fire, ambulance, and any veterans groups that want to put floats in and stuff. So it'd be a big thing. And right before the parade, the Veterans Plaza in front of the police station will be rededicated at 10:30 in the morning by the local Veterans Council. So that was constructed some time ago. So it's going to be rededicated at 10:30 that morning. The parade, like I said, starts at noon. The Firefighters Association in front of Cylinder Center will be selling pulled pork sandwiches and pork nachos to help, and all the proceeds of that sale go to the Firefighters Museum in Kingdom City. I don't know if you know it or not, or if you've ever been there, but there's a big statue of a kneeling firefighter, and that statue was on the docks when 9/11 happened. And the Firefighters Association of Missouri, that statue was supposed to come to Kingdom City as part of a memorial. And in act of kindness and to the New York City firefighters, we gave that statue to them. We commissioned another one to be put in Kingdom City. So there's only two of those around. And so after the parade will start at noon, it will go down High Street, it will go down to Adams Street, and then back to Capitol Avenue, down to the Missouri Boulevard location again. So we anticipate a lot of people coming in, get the information out about this event, and we think it's only right and proper to honor all these people. If you look at the back, We have expenses like anybody would to do something like this. My favorite saying is we have expenses from porta potties to the guest speaker. So we're also selling T-shirts on the back page. And you might take a note of that kneeling firefighter on the back. That kneeling firefighter, we had a poster contest, statewide poster contest back in January. And we had 5 judges judge all the posters that were received. I think there's 54 posters. Through a mathematical calculation of 3 different reviews, this one poster was picked for the first place winner, which we would use on all of our logos. We didn't know where they came from. We didn't know who drew them or anything like that. So after we awarded this as number 1, we turned the poster over and found out it was a Blair Oak student. And on top of that, his name is Garrett Horn, and his dad's a retired Jeff City firefighter, Dennis Horn. So, wow, you know, how could you get any better? So anyway, we're going to do that. Tonight, we got hats that we like to offer for sale. I was on my Sea-Doo at the Lake of the Ozarks, driving around, went over to a friend's house, and he had on this hat. I don't know where he got it or anything like that, but it was pretty, not this particular hat, but the hat he had on was pretty well full of sweat and everything else. So I said, I need a hat. And so we commissioned this hat, and we have these here now. And if anybody would like to buy them, they're $20 each, and to help pay expenses. Now, any money we have left over will go to Safety Net Missouri. This is a first responder based thing like Backstoppers out of St. Louis. I don't know if you ever heard that. If a first responder goes down or anything like that, they come in and help with the kids or the mortgage or pay bills or whatever. Also, it goes to the American Legion Legacy Riders. I probably killed that name, but also that's a veterans group that helps families of veterans. So any money of that will be divided up between those 2 organizations. But I thank you for your time. I don't want to take all day, but I hope everybody gets out there, supports it, lets everybody know that this weekend is going to be pretty special. And being on a Friday and Saturday is wonderful, you know. So that's all I have. If anybody has any questions or anything. Or
Thank you, Mr. Searlock. And I do have a question on the T-shirts. Where can people purchase those?
T-shirts are being made now.
Okay.
If you just get a hold of me, my email address is on the bottom of this.
Why don't you say it for those that might be tuning in?
Okay. My email address is stevelock116@gmail.com. And if you let us know what T-shirts you want or anything like that, we can put it part of our order. We can get that together.
Awesome. We'll do that. So Steve Lock, like LOCK116@gmail.com. And
Yes.
then on the hats, you're selling those starting this evening, correct? And those are
Yes.
$20. And
These
if
are
we don't
20.
get them here, the people who are tuning in, where can they purchase those?
Same place.
Okay.
Just give me an email to you.
Wonderful. Also, I know that Councilwoman Erin Wiseman is part of the committee with the parade piece, I believe. So thank you for your effort on that committee.
Yeah, we couldn't do it without the JCs.
Yes.
They have all the computer work and everything, and it works out good, so.
We appreciate that. Are there any council questions, comments? Well, with that, Councilman Spencer.
Yes, I just like to purchase hats, so.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll throw you whatever, cash or, I just want to make sure I get one before you leave, because I'm afraid they'll sell out, so.
Well, we're going to get a photo of council with Steve so that we can promote this for you.
Okay, wonderful.
So a couple of us want to buy one. It looks like we have a couple takers here. So we'll get a photo and get your wallet out, Scott. And then we'll have Steve come up and we'll get a picture. Awesome. Great, thank you.
Yeah, they're okay, everyone.
All right, very exciting there. And next, I'm also very excited about this next presentation. We have an opportunity this evening to recognize the Mayor's Choice Award winners in the Capital Arts Historic City of Jefferson High School Sketch Day. So I would like to start by inviting both of our winning artists to the podium. And we also have Holly from Capital Arts. So if you three would like to come forward. And usually every year, I've had the opportunity to choose a Mayor's Choice. And you'll notice from this beautiful artwork here that we actually have two this year because there was not a sketch day last year due to the pandemic. So I decided that since we didn't get to choose last year, I would take this opportunity to choose two. And as you can see from this artwork, the reason I chose two is because they're both just really beautiful. We have the Capitol and the Governor's gardens, and they're both really stunning. So I thought I might start by having Holly tell us a little bit about the collaboration in the event, and then I'll have both of our artists introduce themselves and tell us about their artwork.
Yes, happy to. I'm Holly Nunn, president of Capital Arts. I also represent Central Bank in the community. But we had the opportunity to take over High School Sketch Day this year. So Jefferson City Art Club has taken on this task for like the last 75 years. This last year, whenever they delayed it because of COVID, and then this next year, they just didn't have the volunteers to help. So we reached out and we said, hey, how can we make this happen this year? Between Capital Arts and the Historic City of Jefferson, we were able to put it on. We had 60 participants, which is awesome. I think in the past several years, they had not had that many. So it was a beautiful day. If you were outside and you get to see those high school students participating, I got a chance to talk to some of the students that were doing it, and it was their senior year, and they were just thankful that they had the opportunity to get it done this year. So we gave out a lot of money as well. All of the recipients received money. They also received recognition, and the Mayor's Award did as well. So we're excited to have you girls here.
Thank you, Holly. And if you all want to introduce yourself, you can tell us what school you're with and maybe what inspired you to take this certain subject.
Hi, my name is Jessica Koningsfeld. I go to Helias Catholic High School, and I'm very thankful to get to participate in Sketch Day this year, and I'm glad to get to do it again.
Wonderful. You want to tell us maybe what inspired you to choose the Capitol?
Well, I wasn't going to at first because I felt like that's what everybody's going to do. It's the biggest building in the city, but I kind of looked around and I couldn't help it. I really wanted to do that one, especially because it was a cloudy day and you could see all the shadows really well, and it was easy to put a lot of value in it.
Wow. Well, you really captured it beautifully. It's so pretty and really very talented. So thank you for choosing that. You're right. It is a building that's we sometimes look at it and don't realize the beauty in it. And I'm glad that you captured that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Allison Whittle. I go to Tuscumbia High School, and I'm to be a senior this year. I wanted to do the governor's mansion because I thought everyone would be doing the Capitol building. And I was like, well, I'm going to get away from that a little bit. So I decided the next best thing would be the governor's mansion because the gardens are just absolutely beautiful.
And I was like, well, first we want her to that we wrote and make sure the only rules were that was
Well, thank you. And it is also beautiful and stunning. And I think there was just something about having the Capitol and the mansion together that it just worked. But it was hard to choose out of 60 entries, as you can imagine. But I was definitely drawn to both of these. So I felt that it was very appropriate for the mayor's choice. So thank you all for participating. In high school, I participated in Sketch Day, and it was one of my favorite things. But I have to say that there's something about being able to paint, whatever it may be. I mean, you all are extremely talented, but just to be able to see a blank canvas and turn it into something. I mean, that takes vision and it's not easy to do. And you all definitely took that and turned it into something really stunning and beautiful. So congratulations to you both. And so I'd love to have you come forward and we'll get a picture up here. And then I know you have maybe some family and friends in the audience. They're welcome to come up and then we can also get a second picture with them in it as well. So yes, Councilman Fitzwater.
I just had a question. Where does this artwork go from here?
Oh, yes.
And
Glad you
are
mentioned
the
that.
prints available anywhere?
I think so. So these will actually hang across the hall in the front office. So right outside of the mayor's office, you can see them from the glass when you walk by. We have the previous, I guess, 5 winners or 4. This would make 6, I guess, total. So they will be hanging up in the mayor's office. These are not the originals. Actually, you can see one of the originals over there. These are replicas. And I would guess that these students, we could probably get their contact information from Holly, that they would probably be willing to sell you a print, I bet. That they would be willing to do that. I'm speaking for you, but I think you might have your first customer over here. Any other questions or comments? Well, we will take a photo. And if council wants to
I'm going to put in one plug while you guys are getting ready. And I wish Steve Locke was still here. But we have our Chalk Day, which is one of the biggest days of Capital Arts on September 11th. So I'm emailing Steve afterwards to see how we can collaborate.
Great idea. Smile. Got it.
All right, awesome. And I believe Jennifer in my office has their contact information as well. So any council members, if you email Jennifer Sakanik, she can get you their contact information too. Item 5, we have no public hearings, no appointments by the mayor, no presentations. So we're going to go to item 8, announcements by mayor, council, and staff. We have our standing committees at jeffersoncitymmo.gov, the meeting calendar of meetings. So we'll run through, I know I'll start with Councilman Hensley has an announcement on Finance Committee.
Sure, yeah. The Finance Committee scheduled this Thursday. Budget Committee's first meeting next Monday, this chamber. First meeting will be presentation, new forecasting, some other entry. And the second and third meeting, just like we did last year, we'll be splitting the departmental presentations. Those two meetings. So normally, once we get into the discussion phases of this, we cap the meetings at 90 minutes. The second and third meeting, department presentation. You see, people seem to last year putting it all in the first 3 meetings and then moving on. So that's what we'll do. And then once we get to the 4th meeting, discussion of the committee to potential additions or subtractions until we.
Thank you, Councilman Hensley. And on that note, I will add to that report about the upcoming budget. So like Councilman Hensley said, 1 week from tonight is the first budget meeting. And so typically the Friday before, council would get their copy of the budget, but staff has that ready for us tomorrow morning. So we are going to get the budget out to council a little bit earlier. So City Administrator Kroll has his budget. The city administrator budget comes to the mayor. So we have the mayor approved budget, and then that's the budget that goes to council. So Ms. Miller will have those available for council members here at City Hall tomorrow. And they're also available online or electronic link. So some of you might have already just requested electronic only, but I will make sure that everybody gets that. So we appreciate staff getting that out quickly so that they could get that turned around so that council will have a little bit extra time to go through the budget in advance of our first budget meeting, even though we'll still have several weeks of discussion leading up to any decision making. And then also I have my budget letter that goes in everybody's budget. And I'll go over this on Monday night, so I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I will just tell you there's just the usual headings about our overall budget. There's information about revenues, salary and wage adjustments, mayor's changes and additions on page 3. That's something I will go more into detail with on Monday night, but I have some recommendations there. I mentioned the American Rescue Plan, although it is a bit preliminary, but I know that since we know that stormwater is eligible, I did note that. Also, stormwater materials and labor budget and purchase of 2 potential police cars out of that and a steel truck. So there's a few items there as well, and that are my budget changes. We look through things going down the page, department budget reductions, commodity prices, capital expenditures. The next page, there's extensive note here about transit, which we were aware of as well before. The next page, airport debt financing, general fund, unreserved balance, and then things like even our FEMA reimbursement from the tornado and COVID-19 related expenditures. So there's a lot to cover. So that's just a little preview of things to come. So just wanted to give you a quick rundown, but also make sure you had a copy of the letter, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions, but I'll go into it in more detail Monday night. So with all that, any questions at this time about the budget? Our budget meetings are open to the public. We encourage public input, as we always do. We have several meetings planned. So anything else, Councilman Hensley? Wonderful. Are there any other committee reports this evening or upcoming committee meetings? Councilwoman Ward?
I would just like to report that the Human Relations Commission meeting this Friday at 9 a.m., both in person and virtual.
Great. Thank you, Councilwoman Ward. Any other committee announcements? All right, I have a few announcements this evening. First, I wanted to recognize our city clerk, Emily Donaldson, has attained a special certification. So I wanted to congratulate you. I know you worked hard to get that. And do you want to tell us what the certification is?
Sure. This is part of the Missouri City Clerks and Finance Officers Association. And what I received was the Missouri Registered City Clerk certification. And that entails usually 3 to 4 years of being in the city clerk position, along with attending yearly conferences and central division meetings. And then I'm also on my second term as treasurer of our division. So it's given me a lot of knowledge of what it's a good place to get resource to see what other cities are doing. So.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations. We are very happy for you. So great job. We're also very lucky to have you. You've just been very wonderful to work with. And I know that City Council, often we utilize you as a resource, and you definitely work very hard for all of us. So we appreciate it. A few other announcements that I have tonight. You'll see at your place setting, it is time for United Way fundraising. So for one, we have our annual pledge card. And if you would please fill that out and return that to the front office, Jennifer in the front office or Emily will take those this week would be ideal, so they can track that, because we like to have 100% participation among council members. So as much or as little as you can give, it's more of just getting everyone to put something. It can just be a one-time donation or a pledge over time. And I think Steve always does something if we get 100%, right? I think you do. So anyway, we'll get those all filled out. Also, I don't know if I have copies of this at everybody's place, but there's a penny war. And so if you see over here in the back, there's a bunch of jars. And so the penny war, and it doesn't have to be pennies, it can be more than that, goes on from July 19th to August 18th. And this is the way that the city, as a United Way partner, can add to the campaign. So this is part of our United Way Pace Setter campaign. And you are welcome to, let's see, I already talked about that. The canisters are available to drop your money into, and the top 3 earners will face off in a pie face game on August 19th at the link. So there is something writing on this. So every department director's face is on there, and the mayor, but anyway. So what you do is you take this, you take the canister, and you don't have to just put pennies, you put the money in here. And then I might have just happened to put it in City Administrator Kroll's bucket, and I'll pass it down and everybody can fill it up. But really, we'll pass it down and put it on the table. And so all the other department directors are like, oh, okay, good. She didn't grab mine. So it's somebody else's there. But we want to fill them all up because it all goes to the United Way. But whoever you want to see, your top 3 that you want to see in the pie face game, please drop your pennies or bills into the bucket. So like I said, they're back there, and I believe they'll be in the front office at City Hall then, and they may move around to other areas of the city, and we'll make sure that everybody has an opportunity to drop their money in their favorite bucket. Okay, a few other announcements. Firefighters Local 671 Golf Tournament is this Friday. So I believe they have filled up their teams, but they are still available to take sponsorships. So if anybody wants to contribute, I'm glad to hear, I believe the teams have sold out, but that is this Friday. Anything to add on that, Chief Schofield? Did I miss? Okay, and I believe it's at Oak Hills, I'm pretty sure. So appreciate the support on that. Also, I wanted to announce in some more sad news that BJ DeLong passed away last Sunday, a week ago, and her funeral was today. So we laid her to rest, and we really appreciate her work for the city over the years. I will say she was a past chair of the Environmental Quality Commission. She was a member of that when they did the downtown tree streetscape. So that was, I believe, back in the probably 70s maybe, or 80s. I know she worked very hard on many efforts throughout the city that she had a hand in. Most recently, and probably most notably, has been the Bicentennial Bridge project. She was the major donor for that. And she will be missed. We really thought she would get to see it complete. We're very close to having it complete. But without her, we wouldn't have even been able to start that project. So really, she's the one that had the vision to get that going. And while she may not be there to see it complete, I believe that she is seeing it from a heavenly view, and not just BJ, but also her husband, Joe, that they will be able to see that completed together. So very thankful for her work on that. While we're talking about the Bicentennial Bridge, I will mention that today they did put up another large steel girder. Just went there today at 5 o'clock and took some video and posted and shared that. It's the part that leads up closest to the tracks. So the big span across the tracks hasn't come up yet. They're going to finish some more work over on the Capitol side. So that is very exciting, though, to see another large steel girder go up today. I thought that was very fitting. It was almost like it was meant to be in honor of BJ that was lifted and put in place today. So be sure to take a look at that. I'll announce a date that we are going to do a dedication for the Bicentennial Bridge as part of the Bicentennial of Missouri celebration. We're going to do that on Monday, August 9th. And that will be more of an opportunity to showcase what is to come. And we will also be doing a dedication of the Bicentennial chessboard at the same time, which is going to be on the park at a later date once they get the park completed. So we're going to have more of a preview that day on Monday, August 9th, but certainly invite everybody to attend that. And while I'm talking about the Bicentennial, the actual statehood day is Tuesday, August 10th, and there's extensive calendar of events on the website at Missouri 2021. So please, if you haven't already, be sure to look at all the activities that are going on in Jefferson City throughout the weekend and that day. Lastly, on that note, the Gold Star Families Memorial that we had an update at our last meeting, I believe is supposed to be delivered tomorrow to Jefferson City. So you will start to see that really take shape. So that is very exciting. That will be at the entrance of the Bicentennial Bridge on Capitol grounds. So with all of those announcements, I would like to turn it over to Councilman Mike Lester, who has an announcement on voting, the upcoming election.
Yes, there'll be an election in 2 weeks, August 3rd, Tuesday, and it'll be a very important election. There's only one thing on the ballot, Proposition 1, which is the Capital Infrastructure Improvement Sales Tax Renewal. And it's really important. Need to let everybody know about it and get out and vote. They have a website, www.improvejeffcity.com. On the website, it has history of the sales tax improvements and what's proposed for some of the major projects with this Proposition 1 sales tax renewal for the next 5 years. Just, please let everybody know, share the information about the website, and get people out and vote.
Thank you, Councilman Lester. And August 3rd is 2 weeks from tomorrow. So we want to make sure everybody is aware and gets out to vote and learns about that. Thank you for our renewal. Any other announcements? With that, we will move on. We have item 9. We don't have our Lincoln University representative here this evening. Item 10, we don't have anyone signed up, and I don't believe there's anyone on the line for presentations from the gallery. Item 11, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Item 12, bills introduced 2021-33.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the FY 2021 budget of the City of Jefferson, Missouri by appropriating additional funds within the wastewater fund.
Mr. Marash?
Thank you. Mr. Clerk indicated this is supplemental budget appropriation, $44,000 in the wastewater fund. It's from insurance proceeds for hail damage that we experienced at the wastewater plant. In the next bill to build a roof.
Thank you. Any questions? 2021-34.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement with All Seasons Roofing LLC in the amount of $34,814 for the roof replacement maintenance building shop RWRF project.
Mr. Marash?
Thank you. Related to the previous bill, but this would be a contract with All Seasons Roofing that would replace the roof we just discussed at this building, this water plant. This contract's $34,814. Any questions?
Thank you. Any questions? 2021-35.
Amending the 2020-2021 budget by reclassifying a parks maintenance worker position and a senior parks maintenance worker position to a Parks and Recreation Assistant Director position within the Parks and Recreation Department.
Mr. Gates?
Thank you. This particular bill is reclassifying 2 park maintenance positions into 1 assistant director, be the 3rd of the department. This particular assistant director would be heading up and responsible for non-sports type things with the amphitheater coming on board and the higher expectations of fine arts in the community. Staff and the Park Commission felt this position was needed. It should be noted that the Parks and Recreation Commission unanimously approved this at their meeting last Tuesday.
Thank you. Are any questions for Mr. Gates? Councilman Fitzwater?
Yeah, if we could just get a little bit of additional clarification of what this position does. We're taking to what appear to be routine positions, maintenance positions, and eliminating them, which I think is very positive when we can downsize city government. But then looking at what appears to be a remote a decision not related to those 2, but taking the dollars and creating a new position. I understand we've got the amphitheater. I raised the issue several months ago when we were reclassifying, I believe it was a botanist position. I raised it not so much, I mean, I don't know if we need a botanist or not. My question was in regard to the dollar amount in comparison to what we pay our police officers. And now we're creating another new position that's 50% higher than what the bottom range is, 50% higher than what we start police officer. And I'm just curious what that individual is going to do. We're asking or being asked to approve a new position. I was at Parks and Rec. There wasn't a lot of discussion on it, but they did approve it unanimously. But just curious what that individual is going to do. And is this the time to be spending those kind of dollars when we're trying to, and I realize those dollars don't come out of Parks budget, but that's a huge salary to me. I'm not sure what this position does. So if we could just get a little bit of clarification.
Mr. Gates, did you want to answer that?
I think I've added all that I know. I will, Councilman Fitzwater, I'll take those comments back to Director Spalding and let him know your concerns and get some more detail for you.
So if he could have that maybe for the next council meeting, and then maybe even Councilman Fitzwater could reach out to Mr. Spalding to make sure he's got those specific questions and be prepared to answer them. And Mr. Gates will convey that to him as well.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. I mean, I just think, and we're creating a new position. I get that. We have new responsibilities. I don't know where the responsibilities are going for 2 maintenance people that we approved in the budget last year. You know, again, I appreciate any opportunity to downsize, but think we've got some real things that we're wrestling with. And again, I've tried to indicate, I take very seriously us trying to move dollars to public safety. And I realize these are not dollars that we would move to public safety. We create positions that are far above what we're paying starting officers. It just concerns me. So I would appreciate any additional information we can get. I realize we have obligations and we have things that we need to do, and maybe the position description kind of answers some of those questions, but I think our responsibility as city government is to make sure that we're expending limited dollars frugally. So I'd appreciate any additional information that I could get. And I appreciate, I didn't mean to catch you off guard. I assumed the director would be here. And so any additional information next meeting would be very helpful.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman Fitzwater. Item 13, bills pending 2021-29.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute an agreement with Jefferson Asphalt in the amount of $987,787.50 for the 2021 mill and overlay project.
Mr. Marash?
Thank you. As Clerk indicated, this is our annual mill and overlay project. Jefferson Asphalt's the local company who does this type of work. Done it in the past. The list of streets with the Public Works and Planning Committee last May did the project, and that contract is for $907,787.50.
Thank you.
This also comes from the half-cent capital improvement sales tax that we were referencing earlier.
Thank you, Mr. Marash. Any questions or council discussion? Roll call, please. Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman Fitzwater.
Well, I would just make a positive comment. I was approached by an individual on 2 sections of road saying we need to take care of those. Somehow saw this report, called me back and said, wow, good work. Thank you for taking care of that. So gave Mr. Marash credit for it, but people do pay attention to what we're doing here, and they do appreciate. So I appreciate all the work that went in. Our citizens do appreciate what we're doing for them.
That is true. Great comment. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Hensley.
Aye.
Kimna.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Schreiber. Spencer.
Aye.
Spicer.
Aye.
Vogt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2021-30.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the city code regarding electronic participation for meetings.
Mr. Molman?
Thank you. This ordinance would amend the procedures to allow for electronic participation by board, commission, and committee members. Essentially, what we have here is a mechanism for these groups to meet using video conference technology. Use video conference technology is favored is treated favorably in the Sunshine Law, and so this ordinance takes advantage of that. In the bill before the council, essentially, the meetings may be done by video conference upon permission of the chair or a vote of the board, commission, or committee. There are limitations that accompany doing these meetings electronically. Quorum can only be established by those members appearing by video conference or in person. Voting can only be done by those same individuals either in person or appearing by video conference. The ordinance includes a limitation on number that no more than half of meetings of a board, commission, or committee's regular scheduled meetings can be conducted fully by video conference with to exceed that number cause upon application to the Committee on Administration and approval by the council. Another limitation is that public hearings should not be conducted by video conference while not limiting the ability of private third party or participants to participate electronically. The rules only apply to the members. And then also having an emergency provision that basically says in emergency situations, these rules don't apply, and that the expansive rules under the Sunshine Law would apply. So that is the bill that is before the city council. There is a substitute that's been submitted, and it's I'll take a shot at generally describing that, but the difference is really in how the decision to conduct meetings electronically is decided. And so the way I see this is that the committee chair or a majority of the board commissioner committee can allow for individual members to appear by video conference. This is in the substitute. But when talking about the entire board meeting by video conference, that would require the permission of the city administrator with appeals to the Committee on Administration, unless the request would result in more than one video conference meeting per quarter, or more than half of the board commissioner committee's meetings within a calendar year. So I think it's fair to say it's probably a little bit of a narrowing of the rules on who can conduct these with a little bit more explicit process. So, but that's kind of my best crack at the substitute. But I would turn over to Councilman Inslee, since he was the requester of the substitute.
Thanks, Ryan. I think one thing I would mention substitute summary is that in the portion about to participate, there's also a limitation placed on the members of a commissioner committee to participate remotely in a particular meeting, so that we can avoid a situation where an 8-person board has one person in the room, 7 people participating remotely. A member of the public shows up and realizes that they're just sort of eavesdropping on a video conference meeting. So I think that's the only other portion that I would call out in particular. If I can just make a comment about changed limitation on numbers. The existing bill allows commission to meet up to half of their meetings electronically, essentially. And one kind of tricky thing is that you don't really know how many meetings a board is going to have until the end. So the idea here was to be able to track it throughout the year, allow one per quarter, without really having a side of that body. But if you have a board, say, that meets quarterly, you can only stick with quarters, and they're permitted to have all the meetings electronic, which is why we also have half of their meetings, say, if they meet. I think what it results in there is a rotation of 4 meetings annually, because they wouldn't be able to have 6 meetings, because that would result in them having without coming to the council for it. So I guess I'm sort of speaking on the bill. The original bill, I thought, was a little wide open. Tighter. It treats individuals and full board meetings together. Personally, I think that this tool is useful for committee who, because of positive or negative life circumstances, can't be in a physical location at a particular, but would be able to participate. But you know, I get that it's about positives and negatives. meetings. I also just don't like tools that can be, and that's how I view this. So as long as we have it tightened, someone who is sick or is caring for someone who's sick, someone with mobility issues or other disabilities that make it to a physical location, a service member who's temporarily somewhere else but who needs to stay engaged. The number of examples, you can come up with a number of examples of actually, so rather than excluding folks who would otherwise want to participate by throwing away something that we all submit to my colleagues here, that this is a tighter version, there's more oversight, there's more interest, while still ensuring that at least a majority of people participating in person, unless it's one of the limited. And the other point is whether or not we pass this, pass the underlying bill or the sub tonight. Section 1A of this portion of code already contemplates and permits participation. It's just we don't have a set framework. But the same part starts out with the expectation that it's going to be taking on the obligation of serving on them, that they'll be doing so in person unless exceptional circumstances come up that make sense. So, again, submit the sub is what I think is that I hope achieve some consensus.
Thank you, Councilman Hensley, for your work on the substitute that still keeps that accessible to the public that would want to serve, but also gives some assurances to what those requirements would be. So is there a motion to accept the substitute? Or I know Councilman Fitzwater had his hand up, so any questions for Ryan?
So I move to amend or accept it, amend the motion or amend the bill, or to accept the substitute, whichever one is necessary.
Motion to accept the substitute.
And do we have a second? So at this time, we'll vote, or no, we'll have our discussion first, and then we'll vote to accept the substitute. Okay. So Councilman Fitzwater.
But I just wanted to reiterate, I still am uncomfortable with the process of people participating remotely. But I know the question before us tonight is not whether we're going to allow that. We already allow that in code. I think my colleague, the last couple points he made were the most pertinent to my comments. I think he's done a great job of trying to clarify, put some parameters around it, which I appreciate, and he's been very open to share his thoughts over the last several weeks. So I appreciate the clarification. I do have great trust in our city administrator. If these questions come to him, that he'll make the appropriate. So I'm going to support what we're doing tonight because I think there's been a lot of work into it. Again, I'm uncomfortable. I hope we will use it judiciously, as council colleague has indicated, but I think there has been a lot of support and discussion, and I'll support what's on the table tonight.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions or deliberation? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Hensley.
Aye.
Kimna.
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Schreiber. Spencer.
Aye.
Spicer.
Aye.
Vogt.
Aye.
Ward.
Aye.
Wiseman.
Aye.
Fitzwater.
Aye.
Bill passes. And in addition to Councilman Hensley's work on a substitute, I know Councilor Molman, you worked quite a bit on this bill over the last several months, or just electronic meetings in general. So appreciate that.
Not a problem, but now there needs to be a vote on the bill as substitute.
Oh, you're right. Here, I'm already celebrating that it's done. Okay, roll call. Roll call, please.
Kimna,
Aye.
Lester,
Aye.
Schreiber, Spencer,
Aye.
Spicer,
Aye.
Vogt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Wiseman,
Aye.
Fitzwater,
Aye.
Hensley.
All right, the bill passed. The substitute passed first, now the bill as substituted passed. So thank you all. Item 2021-31.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, amending the 2020-2021 budget of the City of Jefferson, Missouri by appropriating additional funds within the General Fund, Parks Fund, Airport Fund, Parking Fund, Transit Fund, Wastewater Fund, and within the Workers' Compensation Fund.
Ms. Miller?
Madam Mayor, this request is for a supplemental for our self-insured workers' comp. We meet statutorily required to have a $200,000 escrow in this account. And so the request is for the $202,000. The $2,000 is to cover the associated fees. And as the clerk indicated, that is allocated between all of our general fund, our parks fund, and our enterprise funds. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions? Deliberation? Roll call, please.
Lester,
Aye.
Schreiber, Spencer,
Aye.
Spicer, Vogt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Wiseman,
Aye.
Fitzwater,
Aye.
Hensley,
Aye.
Kimna.
Aye.
Bill passes. 2021-22.
An ordinance of the City of Jefferson, Missouri, accepting and approving the final subdivision plat of Shot Hill Woods subdivision, Section 5, a subdivision of the City of Jefferson, Missouri.
Mr. Barron?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So this bill would approve the final subdivision plat of Shot Hill Woods subdivision, Section 5. This is a one-lot subdivision located at the end of Shot Hill Woods Drive, shown up on the screen, about a quarter mile east of Eastland Drive. It's a PUD zoned area, largely developed commercially. There's no current plans for actual construction out there. It's just a division of the property to divide this one lot off of the remaining undeveloped property that's been held by a development company to the east of this lot, and does not include construction of any roads. As you can see, it has frontage on an existing road. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Schreiber, Spencer,
Aye.
Spicer,
Aye.
Vogt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Wiseman,
Aye.
Fitzwater,
Aye.
Hensley,
Aye.
Kimna,
Aye.
Lester.
Aye.
Bill passes. Item 14, nothing on the informal. Item 15, Resolution 2021-8.
A resolution authorizing the city to participate in the interlocal agreement between the City of Jefferson and County of Cole 2021 Burn Justice Assistance Program Award.
Captain Heisland?
This would be an agreement between the city and Cole County for funding allocation of the 2021 Burn Justice Assistance Grant. It's a no-match grant, roughly around $10,000 at a 60-40 split, 60 to the city, 40 to the county.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion or a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Spencer,
Aye.
Spicer,
Aye.
Vogt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Wiseman,
Aye.
Fitzwater,
Aye.
Hensley,
Aye.
Kimna,
Aye.
Lester,
Aye.
Schreiber.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2021-9.
A resolution of the City of Jefferson, Missouri adopting the CDBG 2021 Action Plan and authorizing its submission to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Ms. Trotman?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, tonight I am here to speak about the 2021 Community Development Action Plan, and the 2019-2023 Consolidated Action Plan serves as a framework, and it also identifies priorities for community development block grants. And it also identifies the programs that we are working on in 2021, which happen to be the Emergency Assistance Repair Program, Down Payment Assistance Program, and then the public infrastructure programs, which are sidewalks and removal of slum and blight, which happen to be the demolition on that. We started off with a public meeting on May 24th, and then an online survey was made available through June 7th. We also had a public meeting on June 10th that we presented the draft action plan, and then we held public comments through July 11th on that. some of the survey responses that we received, that they were asking for more funding for removal of slum and blight. Sidewalks are needed near school zones. Sidewalk repair needed in the 800 and 900 block of Jefferson Street. They were looking for more transitional housing and wet shelters. And they actually have and then few affordable housing options with 4 bedrooms on that. And then the budget is $300,250. And how we went ahead and broke that down is the down payment assistance program is $152,460. And that is going to go ahead and serve 25 households on that. And then through our emergency assistance repair program, that is $30,165, and that would serve 5 households. And then through the infrastructure improvement, and that is through our sidewalks, that would be the $37,585, and that would serve 3,000 individuals. The demolition, we would serve 1 building for $20,000, and then we have an administration 20% cap on that of $60,050 on that. And then through our down payment assistance, that provides low to moderate income households $5,000 towards purchasing a single family home. The emergency assistance repair program provides up to $5,000 to the low to moderate income households to keep their homes in a suitable place to live, replacing furnaces, air conditioners, that type of thing. And then, of course, the public infrastructure improves the sidewalks, and we do that in the census tracts of 105, 106, and 207. And then, of course, demolition is removal of structures for housing redevelopment. And then again, the administration is the 20% of grant allocation is set aside to run those types of programs. And then the next steps is we have to submit the annual action plan to HUD by August 16th. And then HUD reviews and accepts the plan. And then once they review and accept the plan, they will go ahead and we will receive a grant approval letter. And then we would bring that back to you as an item on the consent agenda for you to go ahead and accept that. And so that is all that I have. Do you have any other questions?
Thank you for the presentation. Any questions or a motion to approve?
I move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Spicer,
Aye.
Vogt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Wiseman,
Aye.
Fitzwater,
Aye.
Hensley,
Aye.
Kimna,
Aye.
Lester,
Aye.
Schreiber, Spencer.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Item 16, any presentations on other topics? Please signed up. Item 17, any council discussion of presentation topics? Item 18, new business. That's better than my music starting at the last meeting. It's okay. Approval, item 19, I need an approval of the July 6th closed session minutes, please.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Vogt,
Aye.
Ward,
Aye.
Wiseman,
Aye.
Fitzwater,
Aye.
Hensley,
Aye.
Kimna,
Aye.
Lester,
Aye.
Schreiber, Spencer,
Aye.
Spicer.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 20, any unfinished business? Item 21.
I move to adjourn. Mayor, please. Mayor, may we adjourn?
Yes, we may. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you.